Hey, what's up YouTube? This is ChrisIsSoPro. As you can see, I'm a bit lazy, still got on my glasses, my pajama pants, you can't see those. It's like 4 o'clock and I haven't felt like waking up, my hair looks like shit, and there's like nothing to it. But, I wanted to come and talk to you about the deck Dimensional Eatos. I made changes in ChrisIsSoPro's video. My deck is exactly a net deck of Pointlessness 413. I'm going to have a link to his video up there in the corner. Or not to his video, but to his channel. If you haven't subscribed to him, you need to. But pretty much, I'm going to go over the changes I've made to the deck, and I'm also going to make discussions about some of the cards in there and how important they are in this actual meta. So let's get to the deck. Gadget Matt. Robbie Colby jealous up on this shit. 3 Guardian Eatos. Second half of the name. You run it with the Dimensional Fissures so that you don't have any monsters in the graveyard, so you can special summon it. It can be negated by your oppressions, but chances are you aren't going to be activating oppression until you summon this. So, yeah. 3 Beast King Barbaros, 1900 beat stick, plus it's a 3000 beat stick when you got skill drain on the field, or when you got monsters built up on the field, you could tribute the 3 to get his effect off, his Raigeki effect, and that in itself is a very, very important effect. Because with this deck, you're going to see some monster build up, and there really isn't that much other monster destruction besides smashing ground. But yeah. 3 Crusader of Endymion. It's a light monster for our secret side deck material that we're going to be showing you later. And it's also a Gemini monster, 4-star Gemini monster that could be used with the Gemini Sparks. So, 3 Neos Alias and a Stratos. Stratos searches out aliases along with the first of the spells, the Ecalls and the Rhoda. They all search out aliases in the Stratos, but aliases are Gemini Sparkable, 1900 beat stick, easy to work with, and yeah, deck thinning is very important here. And since you've only got 13 monsters, that search is inevitable. 2 Soul Release. I tech 2 Soul Release because of the off chance that you're not going to top into your Dimensional Fissures, or into your Dimensional Fissures, or your 1 Macrocosmos. With the Soul Release, it works better than Transmigration Prophecy because most of the time, if you're not going to draw into your Dimensional Fissures, you're going to have more than 2 monsters in the graveyard. Plus, it also helps to get rid of those cheeky Necrogardnas, or the things that your opponent's going to want a Beckoning Light in Light Swarms. Gets rid of the Bayous, and Bayous not chainable and stuff. And just all that other stuff that's important to get rid of. 2 Gemini Spark. Gemini Spark, tribute a level 4 Gemini monster, you get to pop a card and draw a card. Great card in this deck. I find it to be like Blackwings find Icarus attack. Very important card. 3-Dimensional Fissure, first half of the name of the deck. Basically remove the cards so that Eatos can be special summoned easy, and then it also stops stuff like Light Swarms, Blackwings, Necrogardnas, all that stuff, Dark Armed. Like, the list goes on and on. 2 Shrink and 2 Book of Moon for quick play spell attack stopping. Book of Moon I like because it could stop your opponent's big monsters, flip them down so that you could get the attack in. And Shrink is just that damage step card that you could activate during damage step where it's too late to activate the Book of Moon for your opponent to protect their monster. But yeah, that's pretty much it. And you don't have to worry about them responding with Honest in the damage step because you've got your Dimensional Fissures. But yeah, now onto the traps. 2 Trap Hole and 2 Bottomless Trap Hole. Now, Trap Hole and Bottomless Trap Hole aren't just there to stop the big normal summons and the Bottomless is special summons. But believe it or not, they're actually there to also help out your continuous spells and trap cards, such as skill drains and oppressions. You see, there are lots of monsters out there now that stop the spells and traps from coming out, such as the breakers and the Lilas. I mean, if they can't get their counter or if they can't switch defense position, they don't get to pop. It's trap hole and the bottomless trap holes, along with the skill drains, help to keep that from happening. Got 3 skill drain. Skill drain helps Barbaros, along with taking away the effects of cards such as Spirit Reaper, Zombie Master, Lila, Lumina, Raikou, Judgment Dragon, anything that basically mills or destroys things, anything that has an effect. It's probably one of the main cards in this deck. Royal Oppression, if you aren't running this card this format, you're retarded. Every deck special summons. Even this deck. This deck summons the Eatoses. But if you're not teching Royal Oppression this format, you will lose. Royal Oppression is probably the biggest staple card this format. It stops Judgment Dragon. It stops Christia. If you're running Gores and Tragodia, it doesn't stop it, but Christia does. And the thing is, you're going to want to fuck over that Christia, because that's going to stop you from... Christia is going to reopen those OTKs that Gores and Tragodia would normally stop. It stops Dark Armed. Stops pretty much everything. Oppression is staple card this format. Then Macrocosmos is in there. I don't like 2 because, as Pointlessness 413 says, it stacks up the deck. They stack up and they become too hard to use with everything else. You end up drawing multiple removal cards instead of all the other stuff you need. 2 Dark Bribe. 1 is proxied, unfortunately, but you can still definitely tell that it's a Dark Bribe in front of an Ojama King. I only run 2 rather than 3 because Dark Bribe's there to protect the spells and traps, mainly. And then sometimes you could Dark Bribe a Mirror Force or a Torrential Tribute. But there's really not that much stuff left to stop, but there's just enough to where you still want to run 2. And then not running 3 also opens up space in the deck. Then you got your staple cards, Mirror Force, Torrential Tribute, and Solemn Judgment. And the bottomlesses are staples too, but they went in a whole nother subject. Then, I haven't figured out how yet, but I'm going to tech in the Smashing Ground. The Smashing Ground is extremely important, because it's going to get over those Colossal Fighters, those things that when they're destroyed by battle, they just come back at you. But, yeah. So, I haven't completed a side deck yet, but I know for a fact that I'm going to go 3 Light Imprisoning Mirror, 2 LVs, but my body as a shield, even though my body should be main decked. Actually, there's really no point in main decking. Yeah, there is. I'm probably going to main deck it. Running out of time here. I'm definitely going to be citing Honest for when your opponent's going to start teching in more Dust Tornadoes, Fairy Winds, and stuff. I'm just going to take out those fucking removal cards. I mean, the Oppressions and the Skill Drains are still going to stay there, but pretty much they think it's going to be a Dimensional Fissure deck. They'll probably side out a lot of stuff, try to get their stuff out of the way, maybe even one of their Honests, but Honest is going to be pretty important in this deck too, as a side deck card and able to counteract your opponent. But that's pretty much all I've got to talk about. Rate, comment, subscribe, and have a good day, everybody.